before we get to your app where you're driven to win and how you're keeping people fit through your app, can you make that available to the Cowboys defense, do you think?
Hey, I tell you what, something needs to happen because from the beginning of the season all the way until now, they really haven't showed up, to be honest with you. I go back and think about when Dak was there and, a couple of the guys were still not hurt. They were scoring 38 points. They're scoring, 36 points. They were still losing games, but they were scoring enough points. But the defense was still faltering and giving up a lot of rushing yards, giving up a lot of plays. And I just go back and start thinking to myself, like, what will cause a defense to be just so bad? And I go back to leadership in the off season, which they didn't have. So you can, get your mantra, your what you need to sort of carry you through the season when you start getting that C on your chest and who's going to be accountable. That's not there. If I ask you a question and said, Rich, who's the leaders on the team right now? There's no answer. I can't even find an answer.
Well, I mean, and that's the issue. I guess I might say, but I'm not there. Just in terms of past years, obviously Dak would have been one, but Jalen Smith and there are talented players on this defense, and I'm just wondering what you thought of, because I know what I thought of, and I'm not a 9-time Pro Bowler heading to the Hall of Fame like you on the defensive side of the ball, but what was it like watching them have zero discipline on keeping either an eye on the ball or whatever gaps they needed to maintain for going against an offense whose quarterback, Lamar Jackson, who I adore, giving an honest answer to a simple question I gave a few weeks ago, asking him why things looked a little different, more difficult on offense this year, him saying most of the defenses they're playing were calling out the plays before he ran them. So here's an offense that many other teams are figuring out, or you can call predictable. And they had an extra 4 days to prepare for him because of the delays of the game, and they still gave up 300 yards rushing. What were you thinking watching this?
300 yards rushing, we're not even adding in, the passing yards. So I always, when I was a captain and when I played, when people make mistakes, that comes with not wanting to. That's like the want to. That's the character that's instilled in, some of the players, they're like that. But when you start getting to a point to where you're creating, or not creating, but there's a lot of mistakes that are made on defense to where, you're going against a zone team, you got a running quarterback, they're going to have some extravagant plays, you have to, if you're a defensive end, you have to play cutback, boot reverse, those types of things, and then you don't do that, that becomes not a effort thing or the coaching deal, because you know what you're supposed to do, but it's like a want to. Like, do those guys actually want to be out there right now playing with each other? Are they actually having that team spirit to where they are all together? Or is everybody with DeMarcus Lawrence? Is everybody with the Jalen Smith? Is in the Leighton Vander Esch's? Is that whole defense together a really cohesive unit? That's the question I ask myself. Or that's, if I was a captain, that's what I would ask the whole defense right now. Are we a cohesive unit? Do you actually trust me to be out there on the football field with you?
Hey, you watched all the way to the end. Thanks for that. Watch more right here.